Receive, 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 receive. Oh my gosh, you guys, like that has been the place that I am trying to be at when it comes to my femininity, my softness. I'm working on that part. You're so crazy, like years ago, and I mean years ago, me and my sister were having a conversation, and um, we were talking about how she was like, I was telling her, when it comes to like compliments and excuse me, when it comes to like compliments and it comes to like people just like boasting about me, like let's say they're like, oh, you're a really good mom, or if they're like, you know what, like they just want to give me something, say something good about me, you know, and like what I do or whatever. I told her, I said, I noticed that what I do is I typically will um shy away from it. So like sometimes the way I would shy away is I would say like, oh no, you're beautiful. Oh no, you're beautiful. If someone's by the door and they open the door for me, like I couldn't receive stuff like that. No, I got it. It's okay. If somebody's going like this first, in the grocery store and it's like both of us meeting at a crossroad and I'm coming from this way and they're coming from like this way, what I would do is, and they're telling me like, you can go ahead and go before me. I'd be like, no, 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 you. And I would like insist. Even if it was like awkward, I would still insist because I couldn't even receive that, you know? Um, but we were talking about compliments. And she was telling me like I told her, I said, I know it's like it's really hard for me to like receive a compliment. Like, I don't even know how would a person receive it. Like I don't know how that would be possible. And she stopped me and she's like, oh my gosh, me too. And she's way older than me. And so I'm like, wait, what? And we had like a conversation back and forth where we were conversating about the fact that, nobody ever taught us how to receive a compliment. You know, now I think it was just basically our receptivity, but back then I kind of was like, dang, that's crazy that we both have the same issue. And like, at least recent years after that happened, of course, I had my son and stuff like that. So I wasn't really worried about it. It was just something that in my head, honestly, I was like, oh, wow, like, why is that? What's going on? But like later years, honestly, like I started to get like more cognizant and more aware and more intentional about what I was saying out. You know what I mean? Like I remember it started with me where like I would dress up in like just anything. I would just wear anything. Anything I was like I'm feeling like wearing. I know like my main thing to wear was um tight black tights and a black shirt. Everybody looks good in black tights and black shirt. Everybody does. Everybody looks good. So like I would wear that stuff. Only that stuff. And or a big shirt, whatever, like whatever. And I really didn't care about what people thought about me or looked at about me. And I didn't care about what I thought either. I just was trying to get whatever I had to get and go. And I remember it started off with like I would leave my house and um I would walk outside and there would be this girl. And a way for me to avoid this girl was I would make up the excuse. So she would see me and she would say, "How you doing, honey?" And I would be like, "Tired." And I would always say that, tired. I'm so tired. I'm so sleepy. I'm so tired. And the last few times, like for the last month and a half of me saying that, she would say, "Oh, you look it." And when I first heard that, I was like, okay, like, yes, I'm saying I'm tired, but you're not supposed to say, "Oh, you look it." That's like rude. And at first, I got really offended, and I was like, "What?" And then, I had to look at myself and my actions. And I'm like, if you really don't like her saying that, then why are you saying you're tired? If you don't want to be perceived as looking tired, like if that really makes you feel a ways. And I'm like, whoa. And I started realizing tired was not just an excuse I did to get rid of her, but tired was most things that I usually would come to. Like I would always say that I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. And my husband would stop me sometimes and he would say, are you really tired or are you just saying that? And I was like, yeah. And then I noticed that he would stop saying that word. He would always say, I did a day's no. Anyways, so he would say certain things. And honestly, I took a book from his page um, when it came to that because I was like, he had questioned me. And I'm like, yeah, I am. But I started realizing, no, actually, I'm not really tired. started journaling a little bit, do some inner work, of course, like always. And I realized that is like my go-to to say, I'm tired. And so I realized, like, I'm not tired. Like, that's not what it is. And I didn't like what she said after that either. I don't like how I felt. So something that I started to use was, I was like, well, what else am I feeling? I think tired is just my go-to because I'm too lazy. I was being too lazy to actually like get what I was actually feeling or how I was actually doing. I don't want to say it. I just want to get rid of it. Like, leave me alone. It's almost like if somebody says, "Hey, how's your day going?" and you like read off the script of life, and you're like, "Oh, it's good. How was yours?" It may not be a good day, but you just say it, right? My script was, I was tired. That's how I kind of push people back and away from me. I think maybe in a way. Um. Anyways, with her, I learned like I'm like, what else can I say that's really true? And I learned to say, when people ask me, like, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Como te sientes? I would say, I'm trying to learn Spanish too. So if you hear me back and forth from Spanish, yeah, you're going to hear it. But I learned, well, when I searched, I came to reality that one thing I was honestly, consistently, was blessed and highly favored. Always. And so when I saw her again, of course, this happened a little bit after. When I started, because this started happening when I walked more into my femininity. When I started working more into femininity, into softness, and I started caring about my appearance and how I looked, like it mattered to me. It didn't matter about the world. Like, let's say they're like, "Oh my gosh, what?" I didn't care. It's about me, and I really cared about it. And it started mattering to me, and I started like really doing the work I wanted for me and how I wanted to look out there and how I wanted to present myself. And it started being conscious and intentional and being awareness with it. Um, when I left the house, I would say, "Oh, I'm tired," but I would have like a pretty, really pretty dress on, and my hair swept up, and I'm like, it's not. There's no longer matching, and so I came into reality like, no, I'm not tired. What am I always consistently? And like I said, I learned that I'm consistently always blessed and highly favored. And so I started to switch on to that. So whenever like she saw me again, I had my pretty dress on, and she would go, "Oh, you have a really pretty dress." And I'm like, "Thank you." Or my outfit, my outfits would be more intentional. Maybe she wouldn't compliment all of them because, of course, only person that likes all these outfits consistently is going to be me. Of course, I'm the most important thing in my head. So yeah, but yeah, and she saw it, and I said, "I'm blessed and highly favored." And that's something that I use all the time now. But I think it was like, I don't know if that's part of the receptivity, but I do think that that small thought of me changing that, and then me thinking about my sister's situation of us not really being good at receptivity, I learned with that, like when it came to that on my end, that it wasn't just with the compliments that was an issue with. It was receptivity altogether, even when it comes to receiving help. Um, and so my goal for myself is in this storage of me becoming, is and getting closer to my femininity is really working on my receptivity and learning to receive. And what got me to write this video right now is, or to think about this video and speak about it, because I'm not editing, writing scripts, not right now. I'm not doing that. Just showing up. Um, but I was in a store right now, and um, this girl was walking out, and she was like, "Oh yeah," like she had a family. She's like, "No, go ahead." And I was like, "No, you're okay." And I almost went back to who I've always been, which is, "No, no, no, you're okay." And I think in a way, it's almost like I was like, I don't want to exist. Like I don't want to make take up room to exist a little bit, you know. But she said it again, and she said, "No, you can go." And again, usually old me would have been like, "No, no, no, please go." Like really, I'm one person. You got your family with you. This and that. No, this time my new program that I'm getting to rewire my brain of receptivity and receiving and accepting help. I'm a limited person. I don't have all the resources. I'm very limited. I took it and I was like, no, that's it. Go. And I'm like, yeah, like the softer version of me is now being louder in my head than the harder version of me, the armor's part of me, the one that always had to prove herself or always had to be super, super sweet to everybody and not take up any space. Like that part of me is getting more quieter, and the other part of me is getting more louder, the softer feminine part of me. And so um I walked outside and I was like, proud of myself that I did that. And that's why I made this video to receive. Even my babies, I'm starting to do the same thing. Like I was doing something and my son was trying to help me, and I was like, no, like I got it. And then I stopped because my voice was like, wait a minute, receptivity, you're trying to practice it, receive the help. And I said, stop. And I said, you know what, or maybe you can do it better. I said, you know what? I do, and I do need the help, as you saw. So go ahead, honey. And when I did, my husband looked at him and he was like, because he knows I'm trying to practice this too. And even with my other son too, same thing. And my husband just learning to practice it. Like something that my husband does, he's so sweet. Is like when I get up now, like off the couch or something, I would go like all the way up and stand up. And what he does is now he holds his hand out to me, like this. And like sometimes I'll be like forgetful and I'll do it, and then he'll tell me like, "Baby, I'm helping you. I'm extending my hand out to you for you to receive it and take it." And so sometimes like now what I do is, well, all the time now is I sit back down and I get back up and I receive it and I accept it because I deserve it. You know, I may cry. Because I deserve it. You deserve it. So receive it. Because people want to give to you. You're not a burden. You are not um, taking up more space. And people are just saying no to you and shutting it out. And you're just too much. You're not. You're not. Take up space, baby. Take up space. You deserve it. A little bit of tears in this one, which I'm going to give to you, of course. My tears are a gift, in my opinion. But that's all I have right now. If you are in the middle between who you've always been and who you are becoming, then this channel may be for you, okay? Because I'm in the middle of becoming, okay? You have a great day. Bye. I love you.